Roll call, please.
Brewster.
Here.
Walters.
Yeah.
Garden. Ewart.
Here.
Benner.
Here.
Parton.
Yes, here.
Crum.
Here.
Thompson.
All right, the invocation will be given by Eric Williams from St. Mark's Presbyterian Church.
Gracious Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather together, even in the aspect of taking care of business. We pray over this meeting that everything is done fit, proper, and in order. And not only that, Lord, but the minds are clear and the direction is clear. And that all that is done, that it will benefit the people of the city of Haysville. In many ways, we pray over the business at hand. Thank you, Lord, for everyone who is present this evening and for who they represent. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a special order of business, a proclamation regarding the Business Appreciation Month. This is a mayoral proclamation, Business Appreciation Month. Whereas June has been designated as Business Appreciation Month for the last 2 decades by the Kansas Department of Commerce to recognize businesses across the state for the important contributions they make to our communities. And whereas Haysville businesses provide essential employment opportunities to a diverse workforce, embrace innovation technologies, provide local tax revenues, and make other significant contributions to our community that promote opportunities for the economic well-being of our citizens. And whereas the city of Haysville is pleased to recognize the accomplishments of businesses and industries that reside in Haysville. And whereas Business Appreciation Month offers the citizens of the city of Haysville an opportunity to recognize Haysville businesses for the essential role they play in increasing the quality of life of our citizens. Now, therefore, I, Russ Kessler, Mayor of the City of Haysville, Kansas, on behalf of the council, staff, and residents, hereby proclaim June as Business Appreciation Month. So, on that next Monday is we'll have a business appreciation. I forget what you call it. Just get together next Monday at the library. So we should have an email about that, and I know an email went out about that as well today from the chamber. So we welcome everybody to join us. All right, let's see. Presentation and approval of minutes. Minutes of May 12th, 2025. Councilman Benner.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of the May 12, 2025 business meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Ewart.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Parton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
All right, item 1, public comment. Any members of the public would like to speak? None? We will move on to item 2, approval of licenses and bonds. We have none. Item 3, introductions of ordinances and resolutions. A, an ordinance rezoning real property located within the city of Haysville, Kansas, and amending the official zoning map or maps of the city to reflect such amendment, all pursuant to the zoning regulations of the city. Kelly?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So before you, you have a zone change from light industrial to light commercial for a property generally located on the north side of East Grand Avenue, directly northwest of the intersection of Grand and Perner Drive. This zone change is in conformance with our future land use plan, and the property directly to the west of this was rezoned from light industrial to light commercial at our last council meeting. On May 22nd, the Planning Commission held a public hearing to review this case and recommended approval of the zone change as presented. I'm asking for an motion to adopt that recommendation, and I can stand for any questions.
Do you need to repeat it?
I read it.
Maybe any council members like to make a motion or have questions? Councilman Crum?
I'll make a motion that we approve an ordinance rezoning real property located within the city of Haysville, Kansas, and amending the official zoning map and maps of the city to reflect such amendment, all pursuant to the zoning regulations of the city as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Next, we have item B, resolution of the city of Haysville, Kansas, authorizing a conditional use to permit the construction and operation of a vehicle storage yard on Lot 1, Block C, Haysville Industrial Park, Second Edition, Haysville, Sedgwick County, Kansas.
So this is a conditional use request for a vehicle storage yard for property generally located south of East Emmett Avenue, 900 feet east of South Broadway Avenue. At the May 22nd Planning Commission meeting, the commission recommended approval of the conditional use with the conditions as they're listed in your staff report. The fifth condition has been removed on the memo, as the city doesn't currently have an ordinance allowing administrative revocation of a conditional use. Tonight before the meeting, the agents also informed me that the applicant would like to proceed with a different intended use for the property. The new intended use, construction, sales, and service, does not require a conditional use, as it is permitted in the light industrial district. So while the conditional use is no longer needed, I'm still asking for a motion to override the planning commission's recommendation and approve the conditional use with the conditions as listed in your memo. This is to protect the applicant in case he doesn't expand his business model to include construction, sales, and service, and the conditional use will not affect his ability to use the property for any other use. I can stand for any questions, and the agent's applicants are here today.
Are there any questions? Councilman Crum?
I did have a question. Reading over the minutes from the planning commission meeting, how can we make sure it doesn't turn into a repair facility for these vehicles that are parked there? I mean, it would, because I know they're saying, well, if it's parked there and they need to work on their truck, they're gonna be able to work on their truck. But at the same time, if somebody's always in there working on trucks, it's really becomes more of a repair facility as opposed to a place to store it. And I know if the repair, I believe with a repair facility like that, you've gotta have places to store oil, and you got all kinds of stuff that you may have to worry about with things like this being stored. What kind of leverage does the city have to make sure it doesn't turn into that, and what determines whether or not that's happening? I mean, can they just say, well, this is just a one-time thing for this guy, even though you know that there's been 2 or 3 trucks in there constantly that are always being worked on? Is there anything the city,
If you're asking me, I mean, it's a factual determination of what they're actually using the property for. It's just like any other, the actual use, you know what I mean? So the city would have to have information regarding what's actually going on.
I don't have the use chart in front of me, but I do believe repair is allowed in the light industrial district. So if that was going to be their use of the property, they would have to apply for a business license to operate a business underneath that use. And I know I review business licenses, and so do our building inspector. So I'm sure any environmental issues would be caught then.
I think in the meeting that was brought up that they would take, I'm saying what determines whether or not it's becoming a common occurrence, so that would be more like that type of thing instead of what's supposed to be going on. Where's the tipping point that says, well, it's not really this kind of business, it's this kind of business? I just want to make sure the city has some kind of leverage to say, you're really not following this conditional use. You've kind of overstepped that bounds. I need to know if the city has a way to do that. That's, I guess, what I'm really,
We have the definitions in the zoning code, and if a use is not in compliance with the zoning code, it's a criminal offense. But, just like any other use situation, the city would have to have proof, you know what I mean, that that's what's going on, and it's not in conformance with the allowed uses.
so you think there's enough language in there to cover any kind of?
Just like every other defined term in the zoning code, I think staff does a good job trying to define it as well as we can, but at the same time, I think there's also a kernel of common knowledge and use as to what those, different definitions mean. So I'm not trying to poo-poo your argument, it's just, I think sometimes it's very hard if there's a one-off or something like that, you know what I mean, for us to prove, and the burden would be on the city to prove that the use is in non-conformance.
Okay.
Councilman Benner?
So would there be a difference, to kind of go off from what Mr. Crum was talking about, would there be a difference between routine maintenance of your own trucks, if you had 3 or 4 trucks, between maintaining your own trucks and working on other people's trucks as they come in? Are those 2 different uses?
They are 2 different uses. They're defined in our zoning regulations. But if you are repairing vehicles that are not your own, I would assume you're making a profit off of those, and those are your business, and that would be vehicle repair as a use. But vehicle repair of your own personal vehicles would just be a incidental use to the current use on the property.
Councilperson Barton?
So you said now they're not planning on doing this, they're planning on doing construction and sales?
Correct.
So then why do we still need to do this?
I think we should still do a motion to approve with the conditions in the memo to protect the applicant in case they do not expand their business model to include sales. If we were to override and deny the recommendation of approval, they would not be able to operate as a vehicle storage yard at all.
And just to be clear for myself, was that the intent of planning and zoning? This kind of change of direction?
The change in direction with the intended use was brought up today, so the Planning Commission was not aware of it.
So if they change, walk out to change later, would they have to,
You'd have to go through the whole process again.
The new intended use is a permitted use in the light industrials district, so there's no extra procedures. They can proceed with the purchase and the development process.
so if the conditional use is approved as presented, then if they do the other intended use, then nothing has to be done after that, correct?
Correct.
Any further questions? Councilman Crum?
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the resolution of the City of Haysville, Kansas, authorizing conditional use to permit the construction operation of vehicle storage yard on Lot 1, Block C, Haysville Industrial Park 2 Edition, Haysville, Sedgwick County, Kansas.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution as presented. Any further discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Parton,
No.
Crum,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. All right, next we have item C, an ordinance vacating a portion of lift station easement within Lot 1, Block 1, John Burba addition.
So this is a request to vacate a portion of the city's lift station easement on the northwest corner of the property generally known as 7474 South Seneca Street. The requested vacation is part of Public Works negotiations with the property owner to obtain a new permanent easement on the property for the Phase 1 Southwest Interceptor project, plus a new easement for the future Phase 2 project. The vacation is being requested because the property owner's garage was built 30 feet into the easement. Upon approval of the vacation, the garage would be clear of all easements by approximately 2 feet. The city doesn't have any documentation on why the garage was built in the easement. All building permits would have gone through Sedgwick County. But on May 22nd, the Planning Commission held a public hearing to review this case and recommended approval as presented, and I'm asking for a motion to adopt that recommendation.
Any questions about this item? Councilman Crum?
You say it had something to do with the negotiation for another easement we're trying to get?
Yeah, easement acquisition for the Southwest Sewer Interceptor was brought to light by the property owner, and we discovered it as well, and kind of inquired with them of how it happened, and no one knows. So mostly just trying to clean that up as well. We obviously don't want them to tear their garage down, but that large of an easement we have in that lift station is way large for the lift station we have. We don't need all that space, so.
So are we requesting this, or are they requesting it, or is kind of a joint request?
I would call it a joint. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but yeah, that's what I would think. It's more of a joint thing. One, to clean the easement up, We're getting additional easements that they've already signed and executed on temporary and permanent easements for the Southwest Sewer Interceptor. So kind of mostly just trying to clean up the easement that's there for the lift station.
Okay.
Councilman Crum?
I'll make a motion that we approve an ordinance vacating a portion of lift station easement within Lot 1, Block 1 of the John Burba addition.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to vacate the ordinance, to approve the ordinance vacating the portion of the lift station easement as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
All right, next we have item 4, notices and communications, governing body announcements. Councilman Crum?
I know there's a lot going on at the library right now in the summertime, because the sheet they sent me is on 2 pages today instead of just 1. So the summer is a really busy time for the library. It's a great time for the kids to get over there, and lots of activities going on. Coming up tomorrow, again, Parents as Teachers Story Time at 10:30. Those are every Tuesday morning at 10:30. And then also tomorrow at 2 p.m., a genealogy group meeting. Also tomorrow at 3 o'clock, it will be the summer movie matinee, and the movie they're gonna watch is If. Then on the 11th, they've got Dan the Magic Man coming into the library. On the 12th, we've got noon cross-stitching workshop 1. And on the 13th, you've got noon cross-stitching workshop 2. Also on the 12th, from 3 to 6, they'll be doing rock painting. And 1 to 5 on the 16th will be the business appreciation dinner over there. And bring page 2. That's not the right direction. Here we go, 17th, okay. Coming up on the 17th at 10 o'clock will be the Perler Bead Workshop. And then the Parents as Teachers on the 17th. The movie matinee on the 17th will be Tinkerbell. 10 a.m. on the 18th will be Laughing Matters, will be the program that they're having. The 18th at 4 o'clock will be the next Lego Club meeting. And then on the 19th, you've got a pottery workshop. This is a 2-day class. That's the first day on the 19th, and the second day will be on the 20th. They will be making Play-Doh on the 19th from 3 to 6. It's called Salt Play-Doh. Then on the 23rd and 24th, they'll be doing a stained glass workshop. And see, the 25th, they have a Mad Science coming in. On the 24th, the matinee will be Harold and the Purple Crayon. And then they'll also be doing a glass window workshop, day 1 and day 2 on the 26th and the 27th. On the 30th, they've got a noon stamp art workshop going on. So there's all kinds of stuff going on at the library. Just go by and check it out. They've got the summer reading programs going on right now. And then I also wanted to mention, I know we've got the food truck Thursdays coming up. We do have a home swim meet tomorrow at the city pool. And just so you know, there will be the Icy Trail food truck, and Ken and Barbie's Rolling Diner will be outside the pool from 5 to 9 tomorrow as well. You can also come and watch swim meet. The Piranhas are swimming Valley Center tomorrow night. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Any other council members have announcements? About the kids to park day and the bike with the mayor Saturday went pretty good. But for the biking area, we had 20 registered riders. So we had a pretty good crowd. Plus all the petting zoo and everything went pretty good. So always fun to see those animals. So the Haysville Business Appreciation I was talking about, so that is next Monday from 2:30 to 4:30 over at the Haysville Community Library. It's come and go. There'll be a drawing for a gift basket, and you can reach out to Danielle to RSVP, but you do not have to RSVP. You can just show up. So hope to see a lot of people there. So some of the senior center announcements. Some of the upcoming events: line dancing every Wednesday at 3 p.m., except on the 18th. That's because of commodities. Caption call and presentation will be June 10th. Lunch outing, June 12th. Commodities, June 18th. And the June dinner is on June 27th. The deadline to sign up for the monthly dinner is June 20th by 4 p.m. The taco bar from La Pasadena. Some recurring events: donuts, coffee and conversations, dominoes, cards, crafts, bingo, bunko, chair yoga, WSU well rep, and Alzheimer's support group. All right, moving on to item B, memo regarding new businesses, business licenses. It's in your packet. Item C is the Sedgwick County Fire Department Station 34 monthly report, and an email from Cox Communications. Next, we have item 5, old business. We have none. Item 6, other business. A, consideration of approval of final costs assessment roll notices for establishment of public hearing date regarding Wheatland Village Edition and Grand and Plaza Edition bond issue. Brett, welcome.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Kessler, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Brett Sjogren, Stiefel Nicholas and Company, financial advisor of the city. In August of '23, the city issued general obligation temporary notes to finance infrastructure improvements to the Wheatland Village Edition. And in June of 2024, the city issued general obligation temporary notes to finance infrastructure improvements in the Grand and Plaza Edition. These improvements are generally paving improvements, sanitary sewer, water distribution, stormwater drain, and water main improvements. Those projects are completed and final costs have been submitted, and so it's time to start the special assessment process. There are documents in your packet for consideration tonight for approval. One is the statement of final costs, the assessment roll certification, notice of public hearing, and the form of notice of hearing and statement of costs proposed to be assessed. Sorry about that. All those exhibits are in your packet. A motion would also schedule the public hearing at your next council meeting for Monday, July 14th, to hear any and all written or oral objections to the assessments. Would cause the city clerk to publish the notice of public hearing in the Haysville Sun-Times and on the website, the city website. It would mail the notice of hearing and statement of costs proposed to be assessed to current property owners in those two editions, and it would make all documents of record available for public inspection. After the public hearing on July 14th, the city council will consider an ordinance to finalize the special assessments and to spread those to the various properties. Each property owner will be notified and will have until Wednesday, August 11th to prepay any or all the assessments. If not prepaid in full at that point, GO bonds will be sold and issued, and amounts not prepaid will be paid via special assessments, taxes over 20 years with interest. Any amount that is prepaid will be applied to the principal of the bonds, and will sell fewer bonds by that amount, and it will be deducted from that property owner's special assessment balance. The plan is to sell GO bonds on September 8th and close on September 30th. This will provide sufficient funds to pay off both temporary notes on October 1st. After that, the city submits the assessment documentation to Sedgwick County in late August of next year to levy the specials, and the specials will go on tax rolls with your upcoming budget and will show up on property owners' tax statements beginning December of '26. At that time, the city will begin collecting the specials taxes in December to January to start making the bond payments at that point. So that's a broad overview of the whole process, and you've been through it before, but I'd stand for any questions you may have.
Are there any questions for Brett? No, would somebody like to make this motion? Councilman Crum?
Do we have to do each project separately, or can we do it all together?
I think do it all together, I think.
Yeah, that's my assumption. It's all in one motion.
Okay.
Yep.
Get back to the front then. Sorry. was looking at them.
You know where the information is?
Yeah, I got it. I'll make a motion that we approve the final cost assessment roll notices for establishment of public hearing date regarding the Wheatland Village Edition and the Grand and Plaza Edition bond issue as presented.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the final cost assessment roll notices for the establishment of public hearing date, which would be July 14th. Regarding the Wheatland Village Edition and Grand and Plaza Edition bond issue. Is there anything else you need in that motion?
Nope, that sounds good.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Ewart.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Parton.
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next we have item B, consideration of core consent order. So there's a email from Josh in your packet. If you have any questions, I'm sure Josh can, or Will can answer. Councilman Crum?
I'm guessing the training's been set up.
No, we're having issues finding the training right now, so I've inquired with the AG's office to get a little direction on some programming. But if not, we need to reach out to the league and see what options we have to get that done. So.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve, so where are we at? The consent order as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent order as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Ewart.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Parton.
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
All right, next we have item C, consideration of purchasing policy revisions. So last time this was updated was 2013, with overall increases in everything. Plus this will bring us closer in line with what other cities are doing.
I think the mayor covered everything I was going to say there. If you have any specific questions over anything there, I can hopefully answer them for you.
Councilman Benner?
I make a motion, we approve the purchasing policy revisions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the purchasing policy revisions.
Perfect.
Purchasing policy revisions. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster.
Yes.
Walters.
So Danny.
Was that a thumbs up? Okay. Ewart.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Parton.
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
All right, next we have item 7, department reports, A, administrative services. Will?
I was just going to remind everybody that the hometown market opened last Saturday. It's open on Saturdays from now through the end of August from 8 a.m. to noon. And this Saturday is Vintage Days. And I don't have all the details on that. Kaylin, do you have any details on that?
I don't have any more details.
Anyway, it's a special weekend, so get out there between 8 and noon this Saturday.
All right, next we have city clerk, Angie.
City offices will be closed on June 19th in observance of Juneteenth and on July 4th for Independence Day. If you have any water or sewer emergencies, please call 529-5912. Thank you.
Item C, police, chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wanted to introduce our visiting officer tonight, Sergeant Tracy Roniger. He is currently assigned to the night shift, so they are out there at night keeping everybody safe while most of us are sleeping. But they're doing an outstanding job out there, keeping the streets safe. Then I wanted to remind everybody, as Angie mentioned, we do have the 4th of July coming up, which is some people's favorite holiday and probably some people's least favorite holiday because of the fireworks. So I just wanted to remind everybody about the firework detonation. As the media put out there was a change in the state law as far as fireworks and selling times and detonation times, things like that. We didn't choose to change our ordinance here in Haysville, so it's not going to change any this year. It's the same as it has been in the past few years that we've had. So there are some odd times that they'll be able to shoot. They will be able to shoot a few extended hours because of the way that the 4th falls. Since the 4th falls on a Friday, they're able to fire them later. on Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays. So the 27th and 28th, they'll be able to shoot them until midnight, and then again on the 3rd and 4th. So they'll be shooting until midnight. Otherwise, they should be stopping at 10:30 every other night. So if there's issues with that, by all means, call 911. If somebody's just being completely annoying with fireworks, call 911. And our night shift guys will probably have to go out there and go get them to quell that and quiet it down. With that, we also want to remind everybody, if you're gonna choose to shoot fireworks, make sure you shoot them where you buy them. There are things that are not legal here. For instance, bottle rockets are legal in Missouri, but you can't shoot them here. So if you buy them in Missouri, stay in Missouri and please shoot them there. Don't bring them back here. Also, the little things called Chinese lanterns that they look like a paper bag with a candle on the bottom of it that you light it and it flies up in the air. Well, eventually it turns into a little fireball and falls down someplace and can start fires. So we want to be careful of those. Those are not legal in the city of Haysville. So please don't use those here. If you buy them somewhere else, stay there and do them there. Also, 911 will again have their non-emergency numbers set up, and we'll put more information out there as we get a little bit closer, since we're still just a little less than a month out, but we will put more information out there later on. But they'll be running that line through June 27th through July 6th, so it should cover all the days that we have fireworks being shot here in Haysville this year. So they've kind of rounded out the hours. Every night it'll be 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. So this is things like parties, nuisance fireworks, things like that going on, excessive noise. So people can call that number. It's 290-1011, just as it's been in the past. So if there's just somebody being loud, there's nothing else going on, no fighting or anything like that, just you can call that number and they'll get it sent out to everybody. They'll broadcast it and send it out to everybody, rather than tying up an emergency line that somebody may be calling in if they're having a medical emergency or something else. So, but that will be out there again. That number is 290-1011. And we'll put more information out there on our social media as soon as it gets a little bit closer. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Councilman Crum.
Chief, can I be a pain?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what I want to ask? The school's out.
School's out and curfew hours. For the most part, kids that are under 16, most of the time they have to be in by 11 at night. On weekends, it's a little bit different. They can stay out till midnight. The best rule of thumb is if you see kids out and you think it's too late for them to be out, call us and have us go check on them. That's probably your best rule of thumb, because any kind of suspicious activity, just because it's 11 o'clock doesn't mean that, oh, well, now they're out there, they were out there being good, but now they're out there causing no good. So, I mean, if they're out there in their own yard, they're okay, but again, that time is 11 o'clock, normally for anybody under 16. On weekends, it's midnight. 16 and 17-year-olds, they can stay out till midnight during the week, and then on weekends, it's 1 a.m., so they have to be in just a little bit earlier. So, but again, anytime you see anybody suspicious, whether it be kids or adults, or you can't tell because it's dark and it looks like a shadow outside, call us, have us come and check it out, and we'll be sure to go and make sure they're not up to no good. So, does that get you?
Yep, thanks.
Yep. Anybody else? Going once, going twice.
All right, thanks, Chief. Next, item D, Public Works. Tony.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Update for Sarah Lane. We backfilled with dirt today, and we'll be looking at backfilling with crushed rock the rest of this week. Most likely, we're going to backfill to the top of asphalt, get the road opened up, and allow the road a little bit more time to compact. We are now obtaining quotes also for the asphalt. Too big of a asphalt patch for us to do. We could do it, but it would be very smooth, and you guys would be asking me questions about it. So, entertain quotes for that. Hopefully, we're gearing up, hopefully, to get open tomorrow for the swim meet. Fingers crossed. Also, our recycling center will be open on July 28th from 10 a.m. to noon. And then also this past Saturday, we held our citywide cleanup at Public Works, and we had 65 residents come through. In comparison, the year before, we had 105. So, thank you.
All right, thank you, Tony.
Someone missed it.
Item E, Recreation. Rob.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The Haysville pool will close early tomorrow due to the swim meet. We'll close at 4. We'll do the same on June 24th. Go Piranhas. And then on the 4th of July, we will have our 4th of July celebration, starting with the parade at 8 a.m., then moving over to Riggs Park for fishing derby, frog races, concerts by Jet City at 7:30, and then fireworks. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have item 8, appointments. A, Planning Commission reappointments. So the memo is in your packet. So we have the Major, it's Dan, it's spelled Dane, but it's spelled on there. Dan Renke, Jimmy Wallace, and Jeff Blood, all for 3-year terms. Councilperson Barton.
Make a motion, we approve the list of planning commission appointees.
We have a motion and a second to approve the planning commission reappointments as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
All right, next we have item B, historic committee reappointments. We have Kyle Bowe and Teresa Wilson for 2-year appointments, and Brooke Azir, Wanda Gilmore, and Lynn Worrell for 1-year reappointments. Councilperson Barton.
I make a motion, we appoint or reappoint the list to the historic committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to reappoint the historic committee reappointments as presented. Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Next, we have item C, park board reappointments. We have Jonas Harris for a 2-year reappointment. Councilman Benner.
Make a motion that we approve Jonas Harris for a 2-year reappointment to Park Board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to reappoint the park board members as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Next, we have item D, reappointment of Melissa Long to the library board for a 4-year term. Councilman Crum.
Make a motion that we approve the appointment of Melissa Long to the library board for a 2-year term.
Second.
Should be 4-year term.
4-year term.
You still second that?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
All right, next we have item 9, executive session. We have not scheduled. Item 10, review of expenditures, a summary of May expenditures.
I move that we receive and file the May expenditures.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the May expenditures. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yeah.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Next, we have item 11, a consent agenda. We have 2 items on the consent agenda. Councilman Crum.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as
Second.
presented.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Next, item 12, council items, A, council concerns. Council have concerns? Councilperson Barton?
Did everybody get or read the email that came in about bike path concerns? Today, this afternoon on email?
I have not yet.
No, I did not.
Patricia Meserve is writing to, about, out of concern that we have a lot of golf carts and motorcycles and mini bikes, 4-wheelers up and down on the bike path. Do we not have no motorized vehicles on the path?
That is the law. Those small bikes and those kind of things are illegal to ride on the bike path. They're considered motorcycles, so you have to have a driver's license, you have to have insurance, you have to have all that kind of stuff to be able to ride those. The issues in particular with that stretch of the bike path is access. We obviously are not gonna drive a patrol car down that sidewalk to try to catch them. Trying to have somebody in on one side of it while they're coming down. It works sometimes and we're able to catch some of them. We're writing tickets, we're giving warnings first and writing tickets if they're repeat offenders or if they're just not listening. Golf carts are not legal in Haysville unless you go through the process to get it licensed. We passed that just a couple months ago, so we have 1 golf cart in the city of Haysville that is licensed, that has a license on it. So if you see a golf cart out and you're not sure, or if it's riding on a bike path or a sidewalk, they're not supposed to be. Please call 911, we'll get out there, we'll try to get them caught and taken care of. A lot of people think, well, the motorcycles and those kind of things are small, the kids are just out having fun and that kind of thing. it's still dangerous. The kids may be being careful, but they're not paying attention to what they're doing all the time, and they can dart out in front of a car or something else and get themselves seriously hurt. And that's part of why licensing is required, and those things are considered motor vehicles. You still have to watch for other drivers and other people in the area. So those, to answer the question, yes, those are illegal, and we encourage people to call 911 when they see that. Because obviously when they're down in that bike path back behind Marlin, we have issues seeing back there all the way back down around the curve, so we can get them when they come out on the ends. But if people are calling us and letting us know what times they're doing that and when they're out there, it makes it a little easier for us to catch them.
Do we have signs on the path that say no to motorized vehicles?
I don't think so.
I don't believe
Is
there
that
might be on
something we
certain
can look
paths, but I
into?
don't think there are, but we can certainly look into that and see if we can get some put out there.
That way anybody can't say, oh, well, I didn't know.
No, that's probably a good point, that we can look into that and see what we can come up with.
Okay.
So, yep.
Chief, do those rules apply to the motor-assisted bicycles that are kind of prevalent now? They're kind of halfway between a bicycle and a small motorcycle.
Those are a little different. We're still trying to get, and I don't know, Josh may know if he's been to a legislative conference recently. We're still trying to get an AG opinion one way or the other, how they want to classify those. Because again, they're electric motors, it depends on the horsepower and that kind of stuff, which is difficult for us to try to measure that on a consistent basis. So we're just trying to see if there's something out there, some ruling where those things are defined for us. It is in our books. It is in the standard traffic ordinance books. It talks about electric bicycles and those kind of things, which makes them legal. But again, they have to yield right away to pedestrians and other people using the paths, just like any bicyclist would.
Councilman Crum?
Chief, you mentioned that, I know that people are saying, well, that's just kids out having fun. Was there not just a couple of months ago somebody that got hit and killed on one of those things, like on 58th Street, either Seneca and Broadway or something?
There's been several serious accidents involving those in and around Wichita area. Again, it's just, I mean, yeah, people put that aside. Well, they're just out having fun. Well, they are until they're not.
Right.
And that's the way it goes. And unfortunately, if they're not wearing helmets, that's why if you're under 18 in the state of Kansas, you're riding a motorcycle, you have to wear a helmet. I mean, you have to abide by certain rules, and there's reasons for that, and it's safety. We will try to keep everybody safe, and obviously for the safety of those riding the bikes and also safety of people operating vehicles on the streets. They're not necessarily looking for a little motorized bike that's 1.5 feet high, but it's small, so what does it hurt? Well, it can hurt really bad if it's up against a 2,000-pound car. I mean, it can definitely cause problems. I mean, same thing with golf carts. They think, well, golf carts are low powered. I know of at least 2 different accidents that happened in Derby because of golf carts being out there and people flipping them over or whatever, kids being involved in it. And it's just not a good situation. Just because it's not a car doesn't mean it's a toy. They've got to be careful, and they've got to make sure that they're following the rules.
Any other questions? Any other council concerns? If not, we'll move on to item B, council action request updates.
Tony in his book.
So 6833 South Broadway, Kalen investigated the property, had a conversation with the property owner to let them know the code violations, and since then the property owner has taken care of all the issues. That one is considered closed. The majority of these I won't go in detail with, but majority of them have been notified of the dead trees on their property, and they have until July 11th to come into compliance. Particularly 1224 East Diedrich and 137 South Ward Parkway have come into compliance, and those cases are considered closed. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah. That's what happens when I get called about one tree in the neighborhood and then drive through the neighborhood.
All right, that takes us to item 13, adjournment. Councilman Benner.
Make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn tonight's meeting. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Ewart?
Yes.
Benner?
Yes.
Parton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
See the Caribbean